Hello there. Last time in Kerbal Space Program I showed you how to build your rocket to get to the Mun. This time I will be showing you how to take off and get to the Mun. So one thing I'd like to point out first is I have a pilot, an engineer, and a scientist. I just recommend doing that because they're all three of them, and if you would happen to need more than, the one, you're gonna have that ability. So, just something to keep in mind. So, let's see where the moon is in orbit. That'll work out, I think. Ooh, you can see below the launch pad, apparently. I never knew that. I never knew that, mate. I'm terrible at... What was that, Australian? I was trying to do British. Okay, so you'll see this thing starts out really slow. And you'll also see the middle tank is running out of fuel much slower than the outer ones. Actually, I think they're full. Yeah. Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out why it was showing that it was running out down there. But it's really just reading for these ones, including this one in the middle. Makes sense to me now. So, this rocket, it's very capable. It is pretty hard to mess up this flight, but just in case you need it, well, just in case you somehow do, I recommend pressing F5 and F9 throughout the flight, and pressing F5 quick saves and holding F9. Well, don't press F9, but pressing F5 will quick save. I won't do it now, but I'll do it once we're up and higher in the atmosphere. So yeah. So, if you didn't, I don't know if I said this in the last video, but the reason we have this, what is it, fairing, is to make this more aerodynamic. And while this isn't perfectly aerodynamic, it should do a lot in terms of what it would have been. Because you'll see, it had a docking port on top, so it's not, flat surfaces generally aren't the best things to put on the top of a rocket, so that's why we have that. Looks like our outer tanks are about to run out of fuel. That is fine though, because that's the plan anyway. That's good. We're gonna drop those as soon as possible. Okay, I want to see how well those actually work, because I've never actually put them on like that before. Well, I did once, but not on this big of a ship. So, I'm surprised that they worked so well. Okay, let's see. How high are we going to get up? Good. Okay, so now that we're up here, we do not need a time warp. If you press F5, you'll see it says quick save up here, and it will also freeze for a second. You saw it froze there. So, there are better ways to get into orbit. I am doing this incredibly inefficient right now, aren't I? But I do tend to be less efficient when I know I have more than enough fuel. If you want those things to stay up, you right click on them and then the text stays up. I'm just trying to even out the orbit a bit. It's going to be a bit elliptical, but whatever. If that's even the right term. Oh. No. No. Okay, we were going to run out of RCS because I forgot to put one on this stage. And we're going to do... Ooh, what's that? Don't hold Alt and zoom. Apparently. Ooh, we can deploy this now. I love doing that. Because I set the deploy force to like 1000 in the last video, so it just launches it. Actually, let's see. How much did that change their orbits? It just shot them back down. Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Ooh, hello. Ooh. We lost altitude. Quite a lot of it, in fact. That's not good. We might have to redo this. Yeah. So hold down F9, there's a reason that I did that. I'm not the best at this. I've done that before, and I didn't quick save, and I was really mad. Because it was a brand new design for the ship. And no, we don't need the maneuver node, but it works fine. What is it doing? Okay, we need to watch that node there. Because we don't need that happening again. And we're also... Ooh, don't... Please... No, okay. I don't know why it does that. Oh, it just inverts the mouse scroll. Okay, here, let's watch. I just love it, just launches it. It's beautiful. Like, I wonder how much that speeds it up. Yeah. So, you'll see that these little efficiency 1.0... Why did I say efficiency? I don't know why I did, but whatever. It's behind us now. But you'll see that these are not functioning right now because this has an alternator that charges it. So, you know. And we're out of mono propellant already, so why not? What's that? Oh, those are I never knew that the struts actually stayed on. I never noticed. It only stays on one part. We are losing altitude. That is fine though. It looks like we will be fine. I think. Yeah. Famous last words. It looks like we will be fine. But I'm pretty sure we will. Because I've done this so many times that it's not even hard for me to do. So if we're lucky, we might... Actually, where is the moon? We might be able to just extend our orbit and get to the moon just like that. Mun. Get to call it whatever I want. I don't care how incorrect it is. That's fine. That's good enough, mate. What's your problem? Go away. Orbity. Yes. Done. Yeah. So that's another orbit, but whatever. We can make that happen. Let's see. Do we have enough delta V? Probably not in this tank, but if we combine it with this tank, we should be fine. So let's go. Actually, let's maneuver the ship and then go. Okay, come on. If you're wondering how I'm turning on physics warp, I'm just holding down Alt and pressing the comma and period keys. Okay, good. So now what we can do is we can click on this and click warp to next maneuver. You probably already know that though. Well, actually, depending on how new you are to this game, you might not know it. It's fine if you don't know it though. Oh yeah, we've probably got enough fuel. I'm not entirely sure, but after we drop this tank, this one should become much more efficient. Well, I suppose we're not even using it, but the ship will become more efficient because there's not as much weight. I think. Probably. No, oh, yes. Okay, it looks like we still got an encounter, but it's not an ideal encounter, that's fine. Now we're gonna set the moon as a target. We don't even need to do that, actually. Focus the view. So you'll see how far off our... Wait, do we have multiple encounters in the orbit we have? Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so we're right about here. It doesn't really matter where you do it, but it's... The closer you get to the moon, the more accurate you're going to be able to get this orbit. But the further away you get, the less fuel it's going to take, so I'm just going to go far away. So, we're going to try and get this here, closer to there. Hopefully in between this orbit, because that's a pretty big orbit. So yeah. I hate this. Okay, we don't need to do... We want it to go on the other side, like that. Because... You know, we don't want it to be directly hitting the moon, or the Mun, if you want to be all technical, because it's best to get into an orbit first and then do that stuff, because then you have more control over your velocities. Physics warp is amazing. It'd be nice if I remembered RCS. Fuel. That was a slight oversight, but that's fine because we still have the reaction wheels, so whatever. That should just float off into space. I mean, that's not good. I'll terminate the flight later, and in Kerbal Space Program that deletes it, but IRL, that's very bad because of Kessler syndrome, and we have to enable that. Kessler syndrome is just the more objects that are in space, the more likely they are to crash into each other. So basically, one object breaks up, it might hit another satellite, then that satellite breaks up, then those objects will hit more satellites, and then so on, and then eventually you can't use space anymore. Because it is full of all satellite debris and junk. So yeah. We will add, no, let's get that more accurate. Add a maneuver. Oop. No, wrong side. Ah, crap. Control Z doesn't work, I don't think. Let's just undo in case you're wondering. Yeah, we have way more than enough fuel. So let's keep shrinking. Okay, so we want them to be about the same. However, I have orbited at 8,000 meters, so it won't really matter too much at what your orbit is. Cannot warp so far. How about here? Can you warp here? Yes, you can, finally. That is something I've wanted for quite a long time. When I first got this game, I had no clue how I was going to get to the moon. And honestly, I didn't get to the moon until I had about 400 hours of playtime in total. So don't feel bad if you struggle getting to the moon, because I know what it's like. Also, Duna, same thing. After I figured out how to get to the Mun, I basically just added a little extra fuel and got to Duna just fine first or second attempt. So, once again, don't feel bad. It took me a long time to figure it out. Yes. Although I've never gotten to any other planet, because I really haven't put very much effort into it, because I'm me. I kind of wonder what this would be like in real life to just see yourself approaching another body of mass. Also, you'll see me burning right when I get below a minute on the node in T-. That is not the most efficient way to do things. The most efficient way is to get where your ship is closest to the periapsis, because that is when your ship is fastest, and your ship is more efficient when it's faster. So, you know. There. This orbit should be not safe. Okay, I guess we're landing like this. No, I'm not okay with that. No, because we're gonna crash. This has gone bad for me many times. I'm allowed to be mad about it. Okay, let's see. That should have fixed it. Well, that's going to be a bit high now, but that'll be fine. Enough. Point at the retrograde. I'm just gonna... Let's see, where's our light? So let's warp here. And then we'll retrograde. So that we should speed up as we get further away from the Mun. Oop, phone went off. Sorry about that. Oh, it's a text from my 100% legit business partner, aka Synthetic Tech. I said 100% legit because it's technically not a business. YouTube. We call it a business just because we technically get paid a small amount. Do not hit the Windows key ever. Okay, so now we are on a collision course with Le Mun. So you see how it says our orbit is 0, or is, you know, X meters per second. We want to get that as close as possible to 0, because then that means we're falling straight down. You'll see it's almost a straight line. Not good enough. It is good enough because that's almost centered on that dot there, which means we're falling nearly straight down. Also, you'll see that I am keeping this tank. Jesus. That is because I don't want to waste too much fuel on this one. So, you know, keep that in mind. I've been really saying that a lot. Okay, so now is the point. Well, actually, I'll probably drop it when I get to about 6,000 meters. Ooh. Okay, there. There we go. So, I just wanted to let that thing stabilize using the booster. No, we're going up now, great. I feel like NASA wouldn't be doing this. Well, actually, they probably wouldn't be using this. Actually, this is pretty close to Orion in looks. Well, no, I suppose it's the Space Launch System, but Orion's the capsule. Yeah, this looks fairly similar to Orion, I guess. Ah, I was hitting Z instead of X. Those just immediately toggle your thrust to max. Okay, let's drop that tank now. Deploy the landing gear. Just for sanity purposes, we're just gonna do that a bit just so we distance ourselves. It should be fine, but yeah, it's gone bad in the past. Okay, we're gonna want to point at our retrograde because you'll see we're moving a bit that, well, it's more like that way, but you know what it's like. Yeah. So we're just gonna slowly increase the thrust until we slow down. You'll see we're slowing down gradually. Generally I try to get below 10 meters per second, but I know it doesn't matter too much as long as it's below like 15, I think. I think it might be 12 though. And there, that was actually a really soft landing. Generally don't land in a crater, because now we're just gonna slide. Okay, we might stop. F5, quick save. Good. We are on Le Mun. Who shall we get out? EVA. You can let go. He's just gonna fall. He's fine. He's not that heavy on the moon. So, If you press shift, you can go up using the jetpack thing. Then, you know, arrow keys forward and back. However, if you're in, or if you go up really high and you're going really fast, hold control and that makes you go down. So yeah. We're just going to walk a bit further from the ship to place down the flag. Plant flag. Yeah, NASA. Mun tutorial. Done. Surface sample. Blah blah blah. Okay, keep experiment. EVA report. You start to say something dramatic and poignant and about the plight of Kerbal kind in this grand universe, only to be cut off by a random radio chatter that the situation is nominal. Okay, so now for some reason I turned off the RCS. Also, you walk slower when you have RCS enabled, so if you need to walk fast or run, disable RCS. There. How cool would that be to just see this? You're just on the moon, and you just get to see that, not the glitching camera through the ground. But you just get to see all of that. Like, how cool would that be? Like, how terrifying would it be? What would the realization be that you're on a you're far away from your own planet? Like, what kind of realization would that give you, like, about how small you are? So we don't need to run out of RCS, because I've done that before. Well, I think it's actually monopropellant, EVA propellant. But, you know, don't do that. So, yeah. B. No, B. Press V. There. So, next video will be me showing you how to get back. Actually, no. Because I don't have parachutes. I didn't put a mech jump on here. It's been nice knowing you guys. So, thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time. If you have any... My booster is on. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. So, thanks for watching.